during sound check, I was playing a melody, like, as I always do. But I just started playing a melody, and he heard it, and on the spot, he wrote a song. He's like, loop that for me.
Earlier this year, and it's a crazy story, I snuck into this Pusha T event. He had a release party for his album, It's Almost Dropped, and it was me and my friend A, and his uncle was like this high, like he has clout everywhere in New York City. Not even just New York City, like clout everywhere, like everywhere type thing. So we were out somewhere, and he was just like, yeah, there's this Pusha T release party tonight. So us being us, we're like, all right, we're just gonna go. So we went, and there's a buttload of security everywhere, and we're trying to figure out how we get into this event, because there's like a list, and like you gotta have your name on the list, you gotta get patted down by security, like it's like everything. It's almost like a White House event. You gotta know somebody.
You gotta know somebody that knows somebody.
And our names were nowhere near that list. So we get there, it's on like 23rd Street-ish, like in that area, like Meatpacking District, like just like below that. And then we get there. So we're trying to figure out how we get in. We see this lady, she's like kind of personable, like she's talking to us, but she's like, yeah, you guys gotta be on this list. And I don't see your names anywhere on the list. So we make a couple phone calls, and then name drop a couple names. Long story short, we get into the event, and it was like calm, because it's like Pusha T, he's like a good artist, but he's not like super like, oh, I'm gonna jump around. Yeah, but it's like, there's so many people there. It's like Pusha T, Trey Songz, DJ Chase B, like his DJ, like there's so many people there. And for like us being upcoming artists in New York, it's just like, that's the place that we gotta be. Yeah, it's like, how the hell am I here right now? Like I'm really here. So that was just like dope, and like we really snuck in. Like it's like, and the event space is so cool. It's like, no one Pusha T, he does like a couple, he's like a coke rapper. Like I know it's not like his whole thing. He raps about other stuff, but like, we know Pusha T because he raps about coke all the time. It's bricks of like fake coke everywhere. So it's like, yo, we just snuck in this place. Like, all right, it's a brick of coke here, it's a brick of coke there, and the music is going on. And like it's just people everywhere.
Well, we
like,
hope it was fake.
Yeah. Like, it's just everywhere. I hope it was fake, because like, I picked up one, I'm like, all right.
Oh no.
Like, all right, cool.
Nah.
Now
you got powder all over your face.
Yeah, like, I hope this is fake, but it was just a dope spot to be in.
Nah, that's pretty cool. I growing up, I was a master at sneaking in events, because I will always know somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of standing on lines. I'm like,
exactly.
Yo, I know this music.
Exactly. You know, in New York events, it's like 50 billion people online trying to get into a spot saying they know somebody, but like when you really got that in, it's like, I'm gonna get in somehow. Recently, like, since I've been establishing myself as an artist, like me and my brother Trey and my brother Amar, we got our own group, like our artist group.
Okay.
And we've been trying to do different shows around New York City. Like, we did a couple different venues like Bowery Electric, Brokeland Knitting Factory, Chelsea Music Hall, like different spots like that. But recently, we've been at this college in the Bronx, Sarah Lawrence College, and we've been doing shows there. And every time we go there, it's super lit, because they do like, it'll be like a band show, but our younger brother, he's an artist too, his name is Malachi. And he's a student at that school, so he gets like the info on the shows, and he'll tell us to like, yo, pull up, we got this show coming up. All right, we're there. So the first show was like, I want to say like October last year, and we came, I wasn't there for that one, but it was like everybody else was there. And when we pulled up, they have like a bunch of artists who aren't from New York, because it's like a college, like more, I want to say it's still Bronx, but it's like upstate almost.
Okay.
So you got like a bunch of indie artists who are like establishing themselves.
Oh yeah, no, that's
like,
pretty amazing.
Yeah, we got our whole New York sound. It's like a whole collective of us just pulling up with a bunch of energy, and it's like, is crazy.
That sounds amazing.
So we did that first show that was there and it was lit. And then after that we've done like 6 shows there at that college in the span of like 5 to 6 months.
And I know the energy is crazy.
Bro,
all of the college kids.
Exactly. It's a bunch of college kids who aren't even from New York, which is the dopest part. Cause like it's New York, all right, cool. You can maybe get love, like if you know people. But when you got people from other states who don't even know you and they're just pulling up off the
it's
name.
an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
One of the best feelings in the world.
I heard Brokeland was gonna be lit. So our group is called Brokeland. So I heard Brokeland is gonna be lit. So now you got people pulling up off that. And then you got like a room, like a room full of college kids, like just jumping, like screaming, yelling loud because we're there and they're interacting with us, which is like the dopest part. Like you could do a show and it's like, all right, you got people sitting there like, I guess this is dope, cool. And then you got people there like losing their freaking minds, like, nah, this is lit. I want to be a part. They're in the crowd jumping with us, like, because we're interacting with them.
Our first show. Our third show was way bigger. Crowds that interact are the best. Our fourth show.
So it's lit.
No, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing.
It's really based off my brother, Savvy.
Okay.
It was like, I have my own thing. I was becoming an artist. Like when I graduated from high school, I was trying to like get other artists around me. He was doing the same thing. So we're like, all right, we have the same ideas. Like we're a bunch of artists without a platform really, because it's hard to get your own platform in New York. Like, especially if you don't have, I got my connections with like gospel music and like other stuff because I sort of grew up in the like church, but in the rap scene and the R&B scene, like it's just me. So we're both upcoming artists. It's like, how can we establish ourselves in New York and get our own thing going? Because you gotta get that momentum going if you're in New York. Like you gotta be on it at all times and you gotta be consistent. So it's like, how can we get this? So we just was like, we're gonna do it ourselves. Like, all we got is us, so that's what it's gonna be. We're just gonna be us. So we're like being ourselves and using our own platforms. We got like, using SoundCloud to put out like a radio station with our music, and then other times we promote other people, but it's like, it's just us shooting our own music videos ourselves. Like, it's like a bunch of people in New York who shoot music videos.
Very
like,
independent.
Yeah, exactly. On the independent circuit a lot. Like, not dependent on anybody else, we're just being ourselves, and we're trying to promote that lane for other people. So like the same way you got like Family Jam, where you're using your platform, we're using our platform like for ourselves, trying to get other artists on the way. So we're bringing in people like younger than us, and bringing in our friends who don't have that platform.
Okay, cool.
Too late to get your boo back. Bought her new shoes at the Nordstrom rack. Green knickknacks concocted from my brain flap. Chains crack, sternums when we learn them at the shows we be performing. Scorching when I'm hopping around, they sing Latino. Gringos ain't knowing where the fuck we get the names though. Chomping on gorditos, fucking up Tostitos. Damn, my stomach looking like we partied at the Bodo.
Well, that sounds amazing. Where do you want to be with this 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now?
I want to be Kanye. I want to be a Jay-Z. Like, I'm trying to be as big as possible in the next 5 years. Like,
okay.
That's why we go to all these events. Like, I'm not sneaking into a Pusha T event because I want to be at a Pusha T event. No, I'm trying to meet people. Like, at that event, we got to meet up with like people like John Monopoly, and it's like other people our age might not even like know who that name is. John Monopoly, he's like the manager for Kanye West.
Yeah.
He found Kanye West, so it's like we're trying to meet up with those people. We're trying to get into these events. Like, one thing I learned, especially being around you, one thing I learned is like everywhere you at is a business opportunity. Like, you gotta be on it at all times. Like, I'm here, I'm sneaking into this event and it's fun. I'm sneaking into like a Pusha T event. I'm sneaking into like a fashion week event. I'm sneaking in anywhere, because it's cool. But like,
all you need is your foot in the door.
Yeah, if I'm here, I'm gonna get on like any way possible. I'm doing what I gotta do. I'm shaking hands, saying what's up to anybody, introducing myself because I got to.
Yep. It sounds like you owe me a few dollars or a few lunch. So, owe me a dinner or two.
When I'm on, you on. So when I'm meeting you in.
Nah, it's good. I like to hear this though, you know, because I'm not with you 24 hours, but
Exactly.
knowing that what you're learning from me, you're using it for your own self and using it for your platform, and it's working.
It's like, this is what you got. If you want to succeed, this is what you gotta do. Like, you gotta take what you learn. Like, I'm not just going to open mics. I'm not just going to places and then just sitting and watching and not applying. Like, you gotta really apply. Like, that's how you do it.
Yeah, and it's the difference between a musician going out for drinks and a musician going out to network. Some people mix both, which is cool, but when I go out to these events, I'm going out to sit in, show what I can do, enjoy the vibe that's been set by the artist or the host, and also connect and network with different people. I try and meet somebody new everywhere I go. It's just by saying, hey man, what's going on? My name is Quan. What's yours?
A different question. Where have you been this year? Because I know you travel a lot. So like, what have you?
This year I was blessed to. I went upstate with Greg Banks to a part of upstate I've never seen ever in my life.
That's why you planes kind of stuff.
It was further than that. It was maybe 3 hours out, and these people were driving horses. No exaggeration. Like, it was horses and mules, and I've never been there. And it was like I was in the 1600s. I'm like, whoa, where am I? But
Travel back in time, like some Back to the Future type stuff.
It was an event called limb snapping.
Okay.
And he had to sing, and he was like, yo, we're going upstate. So I'm thinking, you know, it's probably a little past Westchester, probably Buffalo. And it was like we were on a farm, and they built this stage, and it was like the environment that was set was unbelievable. And something magical happened there. This was my first time really performing with Greg, and it's funny because we've been trying to actually network for maybe 6 years prior.
Oh, so
6 or 7 years, but it's just like, it's New York.
Yeah.
He's busy, I'm busy. It just never worked out until that gig. And during sound check, I was playing a melody, as I always do. But I just started playing a melody, and he heard it, and on the spot, he wrote a song. He's like, loop that for me. And I looped it, and the band joined in, and he started like instantly. It's like he had words already for this.
Just like a natural.
And he just started building. And literally during sound check, 2 hours had passed, and it was an audience, like just enjoying what we were playing, like dancing and everything. And I looked up, and everybody's dancing. They just received like a 2 hour, because it went from one song to the next song to the next, and it was like the more we created, the more he created. And
that's why it's good to learn to have that feel. Like, it gotta feel good.
Yeah, and people was dancing, and that was like a magical moment for me.
Let me interrupt real quick. So I know, like, since we both come from church, like, you don't always get that freedom to like create and like do what you want to do, or like just have freedom to like express yourself. So like, what was it like having that freedom to like take over and like express?
The freedom it's so amazing when you can just say, hey, I think this will work, and we can try it, and we try it, and it feels great, and then you do it. Another one of my favorite gigs, actually, I traveled to Africa with Donnie McClurkin this year.
Africa, like the continent Africa? Like,
yes, Africa. Africa. And that experience alone was so insane. Insane. When I tell you insane, I mean insane. We're preparing for a recording with Donnie McClurkin. And, you know, he asked us to do it. This is my guy, Louis Armstrong. Sorry. But I was just talking about him. But, yeah, so we're preparing for an album to record with Donnie McClurkin. That process of learning is insane because Donnie McClurkin, he's an awesome writer. But the thing about writers, they'll write something like that, and it's like, yo, learn this song in a day. Like, this is the song here. I just wrote it in my head. Nah, that's not what I hear in my head. Get what's going on in my head, and you gotta learn it.
Yeah, you gotta adapt. Like
yes,
that.
you have to adapt in a snap of a finger. And Pastor Donnie, he's not the easiest artist to work with.
That's why I say like church is such a cheat code because it's like you don't get stuff like that in other gigs. It's like, all right, you gotta come and you got sheet music ready for you, or like you got records to go listen to, and then you just learn the record and that's it. Like, you in church.
Feel, you gotta
it's feel, yeah.
You gotta catch the feel, you gotta catch the chord progressions, the proper chord progressions, and then add tasteful arrangements, but don't go too much because
you still gotta be disciplined or else it's too much.
You may get fired. You just might just.
And you gotta do that in like the hour before you gotta go play.
So now we have like 12 songs that we're trying to lock in. Pastor Donnie comes, hey fellows, do you guys have your passport? And we're like, yeah.
Oh yeah, because I was doing the whole Kingdom Call thing, like besides that, doing the whole other project.
For Kingdom Call. Multitasking, we're sleeping while learning, we're learning while sleeping, we're eating while learning. Yes, sleeping. So we're eating while learning with everything, every 45 minutes. I gotta listen to that part, I gotta rewind.
Walking around with headphones in constantly,
Yes, having conversations with music playing in my head. Everything is about music at this point. Like, life is on pause. So we traveled to Africa, Lagos, and it was one of the most amazing experiences ever that I've ever experienced. The plane ride was long. I went to sleep until I couldn't sleep no more, and I woke up and I was still on the flight. And I'm like, what? Like, we still not there? So, like, what's going on?
So, wake up, I'm still not in Africa.
Yeah, I slept all I could sleep. I'm wide awake now. But so we get to Africa, and they take us to the church where where we're going to be performing. I've never heard so many voices worshiping at one time. It was breathtaking. Literally breathtaking. Like, all I could do was worship with them.
And that's a dope opportunity to have because anybody could do stuff here in New York. And then if you're good enough, you can do stuff locally. But then doing stuff like across the globe is crazy. Like Africa, not many people say, I'm going here, I'm getting paid to go here, and I'm gonna go play here. That's dope.
Yes, I think one of my biggest goals for next year, I want to make twice as much as I did, or if not 3 times as more than I did this year.
So how do you go about like making what you want to make like, as a musician? Because I know like we're used to like, all right, I'll give you this, like especially coming from church, it's like, all right, you get this as like a gift, or like
a love token.
You get told what your price is. So it's like, how do you get to the point where like I'm making this much because that's what I know I'm worth?
Well, what I've learned over the years by different people, it's about how could I put it? How valuable you are. They don't pay you. People don't pay you about how talented you are. It's about how valuable you are. And
that's
two different things. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's like the real musician thing is that you gotta be self-aware to know like, yo, I'm not just showing up to a gig, all right, cool, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna get my money, I'm gonna go. Nah, this goes past this one event.
So my thing is, when I put my foot in the door, I want to be able to stay in the door. And this goes back to networking. And that's how you create value. Okay, now that I meet you, this is what I have to offer. No, this doesn't work for you, that's fine. You know, I already met 20 other people in the same room.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, somebody, one person gonna like what you have to offer to the
This ain't work for me. I know it's gonna work for somebody else, and I'm good regardless.
And it's just knowing who you are, right? And being true to who you are, learning who you are more than anything, because some people may feel like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But learning who you are is just as important.
Did you ever feel like that? Like, maybe this is what I should be doing? Like, you had like a self-confidence thing? Like,
yes, I thought, I tried to stop playing bass almost at least 10 times a year, every year till this year. Like, even included this year. Like, yeah, you know, I don't think this is what I want to do. I need to do something else. But I couldn't stay away too long. And that's how I knew it was meant to be, you know. I had big aspirations to be an FBI agent one day as a little kid.
which is that's such a big contrast.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Security, FBI agent, and then musician. It's like, nah.
I wanted to be an FBI agent. My father wanted me to go to the Army, and
2 different 9 to 5s.
yes, 2 different 9 to 5s.
Or really 24 hours, 24 through 65.
And I learned how to play music, and my whole mindset changed. Like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And by me saying that, it was like, God heard me. It was like, that's funny because this is what I wanted you to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, the more I practiced, the more doors opened up. The more I stepped into different rooms, and it was like a never-ending story. Like, as frustrated I got with learning the business, with people, with just learning, getting better on my own and my own personal time, it was like every time I walked away, I had to come back.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stay away. So with that, it was like, yo, when are you gonna realize this is what you're supposed to be doing? I'll never forget, at the age of 26, I've worked so many jobs where I was a security, armed security, worked as a nurse, worked as a teacher, and like all of these career jobs. I worked at FedEx, McDonald's. Like,
That's
it was so many,
that's crazy.
so many different jobs, career jobs that I love. Like working security, I love doing that. You know, I did that for years. I have over 9 years of experience and working security, and at the age of 26, 27, 26, 27, I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm gonna just play bass. And at this time, I was making so much money, but I was so depressed.
And it's such a it's such a sacrifice. So you gotta know, like, I could do this for the rest of my life. Like, this is the easy way. Like, all right, I could just work this 9 to 5. I'm gonna go do security. I'm gonna go do FedEx. I can move up in this because I did the same thing. Me and you both did FedEx at the same spot. It's like, I can move up in this easy. I could be moving packages in the truck. Then I could be a sort manager. I could be a regular manager. Next thing you know, I'm like running a whole warehouse. And it's like, I could do that, get my whole family on, like, be good. Or I can do what I love, which isn't so easy, especially in New York. Like, it's so many gigs, so many musicians. It's but so many gigs, but there's so many musicians. It's like, it's a sacrifice. It's like, nah, I'm gonna give up this easy money and go do what I love and chase that dream.
And that's what it was. More so for me, like, I'll never forget. Like, I was watching, Biggie is one of my favorite artists, like one of my favorite rappers. And I was watching his movie, Notorious, and Diddy was saying, you gonna chase the money or you gonna chase the dream?
Don't chase the paper, chase the dream. I started off as Andre Harrell's assistant. Now I'm damn near running this place. Nigga, I'm hungry. You can throw me butt naked in the jungle and I'll come out with a chinchilla coat, a leopard hat, and 10 pounds heavier from eating them niggas. With all due respect, Puff, dreams ain't paying the bills, Jay. His do.
And that one line, and it was at the beginning of the movie, it stood out to me and it hit me so hard.
There's two different things between the money and the dream. Like the money come with the dream, but it's like when you could just chase the money and do the easy thing, go get a 9 to 5, go do something else.
You could just make $600-700 a week, and that's cool. You know, you'll be making that for the rest of your life. But the biggest question is, will you be happy?
Exactly.
And when you turn 70, can you sit there and say, yo, I lived a great life? Or are you gonna chase your dream and the wealth will find you?
And I had so many people tell me like, oh, go do this city job. Like, yo, you could just go be a train conductor. You could go work for sanitation. And then by the time you get 60, you got retirement benefits. Nah, I don't want that. Like this is my life. Like I really do music. This is what I don't sleep because I'm learning music. I don't sleep because I'm thinking or like I'm up on logic.
I'm just thinking about music.
Yeah, I'm up on something doing music 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sleeping. My sleep schedule is jacked up bad.
Because of music.
Yeah, because of music. So it's like, nah, I don't want no retirement benefits. Like, nah, this is what I do. Like, this is it.
And like studying the greatest, like literally, there's so many artists that had nothing and had everything. You know, just listening to, I talked to, you know, I'm close with Dr. Donnie McClurkin,
Right.
and he told me, he shared something that I never knew. And I was 31 at the time. And he said, I didn't have my own debit card until I was 30.
Right.
And that alone, he's a millionaire now. Just that piece of information alone gave me hope. He's like, I didn't get rich and famous until I turned 50. And it's like, he lived his whole life believing that he was a singer. I've seen this in my circle, you know. So to see it in my circle, it gives me hope. Like, yo, that could be you. But you got to chase what you want to do.
Right.
You got to chase your dream. What is your dream? Back then, I didn't know that. I just made a decision like, I'm done with this. I was in a situation where my life was in jeopardy. And I was like, yo, I'm about to die over this. I don't want to die over no job.
Especially like if I don't love it. It's like,
I don't love this job. I'm just here to make money. So now I'd rather risk my life doing what I love than to risk my life working for somebody else.
And I feel like as a creative, like that's such a big decision where it's like, I could really just do this for the rest of my life, but like I'm not happy, I'm not creating. Or like you got all that, it's like energy. It's like I got all this energy, like all right, I need to be at my instrument right now. I need to, if I'm not at my instrument, I need to be writing or I need to be doing something that's gonna like push me forward in the industry that I'm in. And I'm here at a desk, I'm here doing security. It's like, what am I really doing right now? How am I doing this? And there are other people just like me making way more money doing the thing that I love the most, and I'm giving my life up, just wasting away, kind of can't do it.
Exactly. You have one life, and you can live it however you choose.
Right.
I'd rather live it following my dreams, what I want to do. So that way when it's my time, I can look back and say, yo, I enjoyed every bit of my life without regret and following my passion. I wake up every day knowing that I'm gonna play some bass today. I'm gonna be an artist today. I'm gonna play music and change the world.
And then the money is a plus. It's like, all right, cool. I get to do what I love, and then I'm also getting paid for it. But that's like a backseat thing. It's like, yeah, I'm getting. Yes, I need the money. Like, yeah, I gotta eat. I gotta pay rent. I gotta do all this. But it's like, I'm doing what I love. Yeah. That's the most important thing.
What are some of your dreams? Like, what is your biggest dream? Like, where do you see yourself going?
So, really?
What are you chasing? What is RJ chasing?
Really? So, I'm trying to express myself more. Like, when I grew up, like I was getting bullied in middle school, I was getting bullied in elementary school a lot, and I was like a quiet person. Like, I'm not a quiet person that's just always there in the room, but I'm like not saying anything. And then, like I said, I used to draw. Before I was in music, I was like heavy like with art, like drawing and everything. But then I found like I express myself more easily with music because like it was just like the easier thing to do. So now as like I'm discovering like my artistic identity, like I just want to be heard more. Like I'm trying to like get myself out there to the point where it's like everybody knows me for how I express myself. And, like, it's not about like the money or like just being like in shows, like having people see me, like the fame, all that stuff. Nah, like I'm just really just trying to be seen, like getting people to know like the real me, like this is what I'm about, like.
Okay, so it explains why you love Kanye West so much.
Yeah, because he's like an expressive person. Like people know, like they talk about the old Kanye so much in like early 2000s. He was like so expressive, but he's just saying what's on his mind. I'm trying to get to that point where it's like, that's in my music. It's like, I could talk about it all the time, but like getting to that point in your music, I'm big on like, I wanna be real when it comes to my music. Like I want people to know the real me. And like, I was never too big on like expressing myself verbally. It's like, all right, if I say what I feel, it's like, who cares? Everybody can connect with music. So it's like, if it feels good, if it's good, people are gonna care. So I want to get to that point where it's like, it's good enough that everybody can connect with it. And it's not really like being so much about like being accepted or stuff like that. It's just like, I just want to express myself and be comfortable doing that.
What is your take on the Kanye West album?
The Sunday Service.
The Sunday Service.
So I was saying earlier, I like that album. There's so many different elements in there, like musically. Like it's like an R&B album kind of, but it's like old gospel classics that I grew up listening to, grew up playing with. Like you got stuff like the Clark Sisters. You got one of their songs that's like revamped into like an R&B album. So it's like, even if you don't know church, you can sit and listen to it and it'll feel good. Like they got the SWV song Rain on there, and they went and changed the lyrics into that so that way it fits like gospel. Like I can sing this in church, which is good because it's like we sit in church and we'll do like the old devotional stuff, like like that stuff, and then it'll feel good. But it's like, all right, I need something new, and then I can sing this SWV song in church, but it'll still like do what it needs to do.
So do you think it's for church, or do you think it's for the world?
I think it's like both, because like I said, like the lyrics, the melody, you could say it'll be like, oh, it's like a worldly melody. It's like you can sing Rain Down on Me, and then you'll know that that's like old school 90s R&B. But when you listen to the new lyrics, like the way it's revamped, it's like, all right, I can also worship to this, which is dope. It's like, nah, I can listen to this on a Sunday. I can listen to this throughout the week. And it's cool. Like I'll get what I need for like the churchier side of stuff.
A sidebar, being that Kanye West is a topic, how do you feel about him today and his actions?
I'm gonna keep it real with you. He's bugging. I ain't gonna lie. He's bugging a lot. Like, at first, it's sometimes you can think, all right, yeah, he got a point, and then it's like, nah, he's wilding. And this is like a good time where it's like, yeah, he's wilding. Like,
as a Kanye West fan,
it's like, it's only so much I can take. It's like, all right.
As a Kanye West fan, I have to agree with you. He goes out his way to not be the popular guy, not to have the popular answer. That's always been a Kanye West thing. Where, go ahead.
Now, I was going to say, yeah, I get it. Like, you got to be different, like, especially like when you're big on expressing yourself. It's like, and I want to be heard, so I'm going to try a different approach to how people are saying things. It's like,
it's like, Kanye, you know you could have said that better.
Yeah, you could have said that way better.
You're trolling at this point.
That's,
like,
A-class trolling.
And it's like, okay, you're right, Hitler did make a lot of great inventions.
Yeah, he painted, but it's like, also he was like a mass murderer.
Like don't forget that part. Especially not after you just got out the Jewish domestic situation.
You gotta be careful with what you say.
Like at this point, it's like, are you asking to be broke? Like you want us to boycott you at this point?
Yeah, because going from being a billionaire to being a millionaire to like now you can't bank with Chase forever. It's like
you gotta look in the mirror at some point and say, hey, hey God.
I'm a butterfly, taking my time. I'm a skeleton.